Okay, let's see. I am live, I think. I don't know if I'm live. Hold on. It's my first time doing this. I don't know if I'm live. Hold on. Let's change my first time doing this. There we go. I don't know if I'm live. Hold on. Let's change my first time doing this. There we go. Ah, great. I already have people. I was so worried that I would start this live chat and no one would no one would show up. So I'm glad I at least have some people here. Thank you very much. We'll just give it a few minutes here for other people because I said we're a few minutes early, so it's supposed to start at 2:30, and we'll just give it a few minutes for other people to show up. But if you want to shout out about where you're from, that would be great. We have Misty's Meanderings and Roger Z and Mick J and Irene Humphreys. So welcome you guys. Pennsylvania. Mick J is from Pennsylvania. And we have Irene Humphreys from New Mexico. And Roger Z from Yorktown, Virginia. So welcome everyone. I am here at Point Isabel. And that is right behind me. That's the San Francisco Bay. And I don't know if you can see it, but the Golden Gate Bridge, I tried to get a good spot. The Golden Gate Bridge is right behind me, but might be difficult. We got a lot of folks can. Hello, UCLA, Jennifer. Misty from Georgia. Crystallized Booger from New York City. There's Chappie 59. Hello, Chappie, Washington. Got Minneapolis and Ken Bennett from St. Louis, all over the place. Thank you guys. We'll start in about a minute. Just gonna try to start on time. This is my first live broadcast, so I'm a little bit nervous, I guess you could say. I'm used to sitting in front of my workstation editing, so this is a little bit new for me, so I hope you guys bear with me. Hello, Claude Dupre from Quebec. Bienvenue. For those of you who don't know, I used to live in Montreal, so I just recently moved back to the Bay Area, to the San Francisco Bay Area. All right, so it's 2:30, so we'll start. So welcome everyone. This is Ultramobility's first live broadcast and live stream on YouTube. So what I'm hoping to do today is answer questions that you all have, specifically about if you're looking at camper vans, if you're looking at makes and models, if you want to get my thoughts about a maker model or a particular manufacturer. I get a lot of emails sent to me. I get a lot of private messages sent to me asking me, can I, what's my advice? Someone's thinking about buying a camper van and they want to know what my advice is on that. So I thought it might be beneficial for those of you who are in the market looking, or for those of you who may be considering getting into the market, to do a live broadcast and just answer as many of those questions as I can in real time so everyone can benefit. So any type of question that you have, I'm not doing this whatever they call it, the super chat thing. I don't even know how it works, so don't worry about like the super chat and stuff and paying money. I'll try to just answer questions as they come in from you. So with that in mind, we can start. Oh, I also want to say I've been releasing my 360-degree video tours on Thursday. So on Tuesday I release, for instance, when I do a van review, I'll release the normal TV version on Tuesday, and then on Thursday I released the 360-degree view. Now I had one subscriber, Trader Sato, if you're on, I don't know if you're on, Trader Sato asked if I could release both simultaneously because some people want to watch, so the 360, they don't want to wait until Thursday. So I'm kind of playing around with that, so I'd like to know in the comments how you guys want me to release the videos. Do you want me to release the 360s on the same day as the regular ones, or do you want me to release it on Thursday? Whatever you guys want is what I'll do. Okay, so with that in mind, oh, I should also let you know I just got off the phone with Dean Rumpel, who is the president and CEO of Pleasureweight. Great guy, and I just wanted to check in with him and just introduce myself. He knows of my channel Ultramobility, so he was gracious enough to take the call. And we spoke for about an hour, and I just love that company, and I love Dean, and I love Pleasureway, and I love the way he's thinking about Pleasureway and the way he's thinking about the market and where he sees the market going and things like that. So I just want to do a shout out and thanks to Dean Rumpel for taking the time to speak with me. All right, so let's get started. We have a question from M. Christensen. And M. Christensen asks, which has the largest interior space, the Sprinter, the ProMaster, or the Transit? Well, that is an interesting question. I don't have the specifics for you, but because I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but I'll tell you a couple things that I think about with regards to each one of those chassis platforms. So for those of you who don't know, those are the three main chassis that you can get a camper van built on. You can get the Mercedes Sprinter, the Dodge ProMaster, or the Ford Transit. For the longest time here in the States, the Sprinter was kind of the only chassis that you could get, and then Dodge introduced the ProMaster, and then recently Ford came in with the Ford Transit. The thing about the Sprinter is, if any of you have actually gone to Humble Road and George Morrow's channel, he's building out a Sprinter camper van, and it's really helpful, and it's really, so shout out to George over at Humble Road. He's doing all the measurements, and what you'll find in the Sprinter, and I'm in a Sprinter right now, is that it has different widths depending on where you are height-wise. So for instance, the floor is a certain width, and then when you get up to the midsection here, it gets a little bit wider, and then it tapers off when you get to the top. And so the ProMaster, for instance, doesn't do that. The ProMaster has more vertical walls, which means that up at the top, you have the cabinets that are up at the top. You tend to have a little bit more space, and it also means that the midsection, you're able to sleep laterally in the ProMaster because it has just a smidge more width than, for instance, the Sprinter. So, and I'm not familiar enough with the Transit, so I'm not going to talk about the Transit. So that's something, though, for everyone to consider is when you go inside each of these vans and you're looking around on the interior space volumetrically, they can be quite different. And one of the pluses of the ProMaster is that it has more volume inside for about the same footprint as the Sprinter. It has about the same volume on the inside, and that's because the top doesn't taper in like this. It's more vertical on the ProMaster. So that's a good question. Maybe what I'll try to do as well is, if a question comes up that I don't have an answer, I'll log it, and then in a future recorded video, I can try to research that and then get the answer for you, if everyone thinks that that's a good idea. Camper, so Doc Morgan asks, what about camper storage? It's never convenient here, especially if I need covered storage. So you're talking about, so Doc Morgan, you're talking about where do you actually store your camper van in the winter? I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I lived in Montreal and I lived in Quebec, and when I first bought this van, which was in the winter, I was very, very concerned about that. It turned out for me being that it was more of a hassle to try to find a place to store this. I was originally looking for a place that was inside and heated, so that I didn't have to worry about winterization, but that was impossible to find. I wasn't able to find it. Either there was a height restriction on the garage, that was usually the problem, or it's very expensive, just cost prohibitive. So then I looked for external RV storage lots, and what I found is they have them, but they were just too far away from me. I was living in Montreal and I'd have to drive 45 minutes or so to get to one, and I really wanted to use this as a daily driver, so that went out the window. Then I started looking at just local places that I just find a parking space or rent a parking space somewhere in the city where I could park my camper van, and that proved difficult as well for me. A lot of them were too far away, and I was worried about break-ins and stuff like that. What I ended up doing is I just winterized my this Ascent. I just winterized it. That means I put the pink fluid in all the lines and stuff like that. So I could just store it outside. And I parked it in front of my house. I didn't live in an HOA, so I just parked it in front of the house. My other previous van that I had, which was a larger 2014 Roadtrek CS Adventurous, I did find a RV storage parking lot close to my house. It was about a 10-minute drive. And that cost me though around 150 to 200 bucks a month. So it was a little bit cost prohibitive for me to store it there. But they had security gates and they had cameras and everything like that. Also check out Smedsters, 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 this channel. He owns a 2017 Airstream Interstate EXT Grand Tour. And he has a video or a couple of videos talking about his experience with storage as well and how he found storage, and some places were better than others. So check that out. So that's a good question. We have a question from Irene Humphreys. Thoughts on the Coachmen Galleria 24FL with the Electronics battery system. So I know, Irene, I owe you a review, and I'm going to do one of the Coachmen Galleria. I've been in, I don't know if I've been inside the specific FL model. I've been inside a number of Gallerias. The quality was pretty good. I like the fact that they use Amish craftsmen, I believe, for doing all of their cabinetry work. They seem to have pretty good components. It all looked pretty good to me. I did some research for you on the electronics system. So that's just their lithium-ion battery management system. It has a few advantages to it, but primarily it's a proprietary lithium-ion set of batteries and battery controller that changes it optimizes the way they charge the lithium batteries and discharge the lithium batteries. So it's nice. I'll tell you this, the one thing, Irene, that I'm concerned about with the Coachmen is its warranty. I'm really on a kick about this right now, and I believe they have a 1-year warranty on the Coachmen, and I just think that that's not acceptable in today's day and age, where you have Erwin Heimer offering a 6-year warranty, you have Pleasureway offering a 5-year warranty. I've owned a couple of these vans now, and you subject these vans to a lot going down the road. It's like an earthquake, and there's a lot of stress put on them, and there's a lot of very complicated and intricate equipment in them, from plumbing and electrical systems and lithium ion battery systems. And so I just think it's almost a showstopper for me, a 1-year warranty. If you can't offer something longer than a 1-year warranty, I just have a problem with that. So that's the huge negative that I have for the Galleria. But everything else, when I was in it, I liked the layout, I liked the quality, I liked the components. I thought, it was a great van, but they really need to address that 1-year warranty. So we have, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm doing this all by myself, you guys, so I don't have someone else reading the comments, so I'm reading them here in front of me. So we have Lake Girl says, my advice for new RVers is don't assume if you buy new that you will not have issues. Wish I had known that. Yeah, and if you want to share as well in the comments, Lake Girl, with that, please do. It's really true. It doesn't matter how high quality the camper van that you're going to get, there's going to be what they call shakedown issues the first 6 months to a year that you own the RV. These are just very complicated things, and inevitably things go wrong. I'll give you a list on this RV just for the interested, fully disclosing. So for the first year that I owned my Ascent, keep in mind, I consider Pleasureway amongst the top, if not the top, in terms of quality in the industry. So I had up at the top over here is the Winegard digital antenna. It spins around, it finds all your digital TV signals. I had that go out. Now, that wasn't Pleasureway's fault, that was just a little motor that went out, and they sent me a new one and I replaced it myself. This MCD shade right here needs to get replaced. They're shipping a new one to me. I had a leak down here in one of my pipes. It was just a small fracture in the winter, and some of the fluid came out, the winterizing fluid came out. And then I had the wrong fuse put in where my solar panel controller is, and so it wasn't accepting, it was the current larger than 10 amps. So these panels can pull in more than 10 amps, and so when it was pulling in like 13, 15 amps of power from my solar, it was just blowing out the fuse. So those are kind of some of the shakedown issues that I had on my Ascent, but it's a good point that you bring up. All right, Ken Bennett says the Ascent gas fuel model. I don't know. I didn't ask Dean that question today. It didn't occur to me to ask him about the 2019 model. I would have to believe that they're going to offer it, I would think, just because of Dieselgate. With VW and Mercedes has had their own Dieselgate, by the way. I don't know if you guys have read that, but very similar to VW, naughty, naughty, naughty. Mercedes was programming their computers inside the car to understand and know when they were being tested at the EPA, and they would go into a special mode of programming where they would get better results from the EPA. So anyways, Mercedes is under fire for that. I have a whole video on that talking about diesel versus gas. So I tend to believe that because of some of the negative press coverage around diesel right now, that it behooves the RV manufacturers to at least offer a gas version of the Ascent and other Mercedes Sprinter models in gas. But I don't know. I'll try to reach out to some of these RV coach builders and find out for you, because it is a good question. Do I know of any, Terry asked, do I know of any Class Bs that can tow more than 5,000 pounds? I don't. That's a great question. I will log that and I'll research that for you. It is something I do want to talk about, though, which is I have a video talking about occupant cargo carrying capacity and tow capacity, so you should watch that if you haven't seen it. It's something that many of us do not think about, and you should definitely think about this. So tow capacity is how much the van itself can actually tow behind it. It mainly has to do with this braking safety more than it does the engines, but how much can it safely brake. And occupant and cargo carrying capacity is outside of the build out and a full tank of water, or not a full tank, outside the build out and a full tank of fuel. What's the exact weight that the van can carry, passengers and cargo? And so where this comes into play, for instance, is I believe Heimer is having some challenges with the Loft edition of the Active. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to anyone at Heimer, but this is just what I've been reading online. I believe that they're having some issues with the ProMaster chassis and its OCCC, occupant cargo carrying capacity, and then adding the Loft on the top of it, plus an air conditioner, plus solar panels and these types of things. They have put, they're having problems keeping the OCCC in range. And so what can happen is you can add all these heavy components onto your RV, like a generator and things, and each one of them subtract from the amount of cargo and the amount of passengers that you can carry. And so sometimes RV manufacturers state it, Road Trek clearly states it for each one of their products, what is the OCCC rating, and some of them don't, but it's something you should try to find out before you buy. And you should know how you're going to be using your van. Are you going to be carrying a lot? Are you going to have a lot of passengers? How much do they weigh? How much luggage and things are you going to carry around? Because you may be surprised that the van that you're interested in may not be able to carry it. Okay, so Bob asks, are you aware of Winnebago 59K lithium, and when will Pleasure Way be going all the way like the 59K? I have not yet seen, because they haven't been released yet, I have not yet seen the Winnebago 59K lithium. So for those of you who don't know, Winnebago has announced the 48 volt lithium ion version of the Trovato K and the G series. So that's the 59K and the 59G. It'll be about a $30,000 option upgrade, I believe. But what's really cool about this is they have a huge amount of lithium ion batteries. They're 48 volt. Why is 48 volt important? Well, I don't want to get into all of it for you here, but essentially you have more efficiency when you have a 48 volt system, especially when you're inverting it from DC power to AC power, so to power your outlets and things, your standard AC outlets, you have much more efficiency and less loss when you move to a 48 volt system. So, and you can power many more things like your air conditioner and induction cooktop and all of that stuff much more efficiently. So, it basically means that you can kind of go without needing to have a generator and propane and all this other stuff. You can have big battery banks, lots of solar arrays, and then you can have your underhood generator to top you, level it off. And so it's very appealing to a lot of people who don't want to have generator and don't want to have propane. So I don't know when Pleasureway is going to go all the way with a 48 volt system. I'll tell you this about Pleasureway. Uh, Pleasureway is very, I think they're kind of like Apple in the sense that they don't just jump on the bandwagon with stuff. They kind of wait to see how things play out, wait to make sure the technologies are tried and true and tested, and then they move it in to their product lines. But when they do it, like they did in the case with the current lithium-ion batteries, they do it in a big way. So as far as I know, Pleasureway is the only coach manufacturer in camper vans that are offering lithium-ion batteries standard across all of their products. So and multiplex wiring as well. So when Pleasureway makes the decision to do something big like that, they do it big, and they do it across all their product lines. But I don't know. That's a question I could ask them. I don't know what their thoughts are on the 48 volt system. Okay, let's see. Customized about 2 weeks from buying. We plan on full timing. Is there any other Class B you would take over this one? Being off-grid is what we're looking for. So, Dreaming on Melrose Street says they're about 2 weeks from buying or placing an order for the 2019 Trovato KL, and we plan on full timing in it. Is there any other Class B you would take over this one? Being off-grid is what we're looking for. Well, again, I have not gone into the Trovato 59KL yet. I need to take a look at one. So if you're talking about full timing, and I assume there's two of you, there's a lot of choices out there for you. I would definitely go through your checklist of what your use case and what your needs are. Go back and watch some of my videos too about what's important. Go inside the layouts and move around inside the layouts. Two of you. Check out the things like the aisle space. Just make sure that the basic stuff. Don't get all taken in by all the electronics and the high gloss cabinetry and stuff like that. It's really the basic stuff that matters. How easy is it to drive? Does it have the safety features that you feel comfortable with? For me, it was the back seat because I have a daughter. How comfortable was the back seat? I had another camper van where the back seat was just so bouncy that she couldn't ride back there. How easy can you move around inside of it? Do you find that you bump your head against certain things when two people fit through the aisle? How comfortable is the bed? Did you actually lower the bed? Did you lay in it for a while? Did two of you lay in it? Can each one of you get in and out of bed? Are you crawling over each other? These are the things that are important to me, and I encourage you to think about that as well. Yeah, having it's really cool to have the 48K lithium ionic, system. I just think that it's less important than some of these other things. So right now, stick with it. I don't have anything that I can recommend to you to replace the what you're looking at, the 2019 Trovato 59KL. But just for your own need, just make sure you're looking at these other things too. Yeah, the 1-year warranty is ridiculous, Jennifer. I agree with you there. Someone says, Steve, Prejin says that the Roadtrek 210 can tow up to 7,500 pounds. We'll need to check that out, but thank you, Steve, for sharing that. Mick J, I've got a lot of questions about this. He says he'd love to hear about insurance for Class Bs. I don't have. It's not a big deal for me. I don't have it in front of me. I don't know how much I pay for insurance. I'm not paying a lot for it. I don't even know. I might be paying a little bit more than we're paying for our car. I know a lot of people are concerned about that. I can jump into that a little bit further. Maybe do a video on it, a question and answer video. I'll talk to my insurance company, but yeah, I'm not paying a lot right now for my insurance. Let's see. Lots of discussion around. Good, you guys are all talking to each other. That's cool. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? By the way, a disclaimer. I just want you guys all knowing. Um, I'm not sponsored, so I don't get anything free from any RV manufacturer. There are other YouTube channels out there who are sponsored, and I think that's great, but I'm not. I do love Pleasureway, and I put my hard-earned cash down when I purchased this Pleasureway, and I've owned other camper vans as well. But yeah, so this is not sponsored. This my channel's not sponsored, and this video is not sponsored. And I just think it's important to say that because many of the other channels on YouTube are sponsored, and that's fine. But you just need to be aware of that when you watch them, because they're going to be answering questions and telling things from their angle for the angle of their sponsor. Okay, let's see. Other questions that we have here. Does anyone have any thoughts about my 360-degree videos? Do you guys even watch them? I like them. I think it's great to go into the camper vans in 360 degrees. Let's see. Kalenth 462 asks, anybody know what the release date on the Heimer Loft is? Does anyone know? I don't know. They are taking, all I know is they are taking pre-orders. People have ordered them at the Hershey RV show, I believe, in January. I don't believe anyone yet has taken deliveries. I think they're still working out some things with it, I believe. I don't know, but I think they're still working out some things like the weight issue that I brought up. The last I had heard, and this was a bummer for me, but the last I had read and heard is they're not going to be coming with solar on the roof. They will be portable solar panels, I believe, and I think that's just tied into the weight problems that they're having. So that's something to consider. That was a real bummer for me because I can't live without solar, but I understand the problems that they're having. You know, European RV manufacturers have a lot of camper vans, but you have to remember that they don't have all the heavy components like we have. If you go look at the European versions of these pop-top camper vans from Heimer, they don't have, you know, the big generators underneath and the rooftop air conditioners and stuff like that. So all that weight adds up, and pretty soon it makes putting a loft on the top of your van prohibitive. So I think Heimer's working through some of those challenges right now. Deborah says she would like me to release the 360 on the same day. Thank you for that. And so does Lori. Thank you for that. So I'm getting a lot of that. I think I will do that. All right, Dreaming on Melrose Street asks, any thoughts about Midwest Automotive's designed Legends series? Seems to not have an inverter. I don't know about the Legend, and I did the review of the Day Cruiser 144. It did have an inverter. My big problem with, there's a couple problems I have with Midwest Automotive. I like them a lot. You guys know that I like the Day Cruiser 144 for what it was. It's technically a camper, but I would never really use it for camping. It's a beautiful high-end touring coach. But when I looked at the I think it's the Legend that I would looked at that was more of a camper for them. There were no shoulder seat restraints in the back seat. None. So they had the lap restraints, but not the shoulder restraints. So this is another kick that I'm on. You'll notice in all of my reviews, I will give the coach manufacturer credit for being able to quote seat for, but I'll always put an asterisk now saying, well, not really, because if you have kids or something, I don't think you're going to feel safe having them ride in the back if they don't have shoulder restraints, if they just have lap restraints. So that was the big no-no for me on that. And nowhere on their site could I find out what their warranty was. So I'm a little bit concerned about that as well. Two big things that I'm on coach manufacturers about right now: warranty and number of passengers that you can safely carry, inside of the van. Oh, and the third one, and you'll see this on my video coming out Monday, I'm really on you coach manufacturers who are trying to fool us when we go inside of your flashy, beautiful, high gloss cabinetry, make my eyes cross and sparkle, and try to woo me into your camp. I'm really on you about doing stuff to fool me and doing stuff to fool all of us. In terms of making me think, for instance, that you have things that you don't really have, like behind the scenes. So I'm going to start calling you out more on that in my videos. So we'll see. Also, just so you guys know, I'm trying to see if I can get this really cool device. I don't know if I can. You attach it to your phone and it lets you see behind walls. It's so cool. So you can actually you can actually see the plumbing and the electrical lines and all that stuff behind the walls. You can see if there's a mouse that got in to your walls, you can see it there. Or in the case of someone who had a Heimer Active, their bathroom wall was bulging out and they tore the wall out and they found a blowtorch from the factory was just stuck back there and they never removed it. Anyways, I'm thinking about getting one of these things because I'm going to take them inside of these RVs when I do the review, and I'm going to look and see what's really happening behind the walls. Dean laughed his head off at Dean, the CEO of Pleasureway, when I told him that, because he said, you're going to find literally some skeletons when you do that. So that should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Do you plan to add any more solar or any other upgrades since you have been in your van a while? That's from Terry. So Terry, I cannot add any more solar to my Ascent. There's just no more space on the roof because I have the air conditioner and I have the 2 solar panels and then I have this vent and then I have the Winegard antenna and then that's about it. So there's a solar panel here at the back and right above the bathroom. And so unfortunately I can't add any more solar to it. Other upgrades. I'm thinking about getting I wanted to share with you guys. The 2019 model year changes from Pleasureway. Who wants to hear about that? They have some new changes coming in the model year 2019, and I'm excited to share those with you. So, new standard features for Pleasureway in 2019 include, and I'll put this PDF up somewhere so you guys can look at it as well. So it includes a Bose soundbar with Bluetooth. So the TV will have a Bose soundbar at the bottom with Bluetooth. That's a really nice upgrade. They're upgrading the TV to LG Smart LED TV. So right now the TVs are LG in the Pleasureways, but they're not smart. So you have to use your Blu-ray player above to get Netflix and stream YouTube and stuff like that. That's all going to be in the TV. The Laguna table leg system. I don't know if Lagun table leg system. I don't know if you guys know about this. Go check it out on Amazon. It's Lagun. The Lagun table leg system's really cool. So I'm on this table here, which is the kind that you twist into the floor. The Lagun one they're attaching to the side of like the ottoman, and it's removable, but when you put it in, you can move it all around. It allows you to move the table all around, so it's really, really cool. I'm very happy they're putting that in. They are going to have the inflatable airbed fitted for the front cab. So now you're going to be able to have 3 people, so it kind of becomes a little bit more of a family camper van, which I'm really excited about. I talked to Dean about that on the phone today and said, oh God, I really want Pleasureway to come out with something that's more family oriented. So I'm glad to see the inflatable airbed for the front, because that means if you've at least got a kid, they're going to be able to camp with you in a Pleasureway. So I love that. The front seats are going to be recovered in ultra leather, and they look really nice. Very, very nice. These are the standard cloth ones, which I like from Mercedes, but the new ones are going to be in ultra leather. Remember when I was complaining about these things here? For the MCD shades, these are the Velcro tabs. They got rid of them. Maybe someone was listening over there at Pleasureway. They're putting magnetic catch system for the MCD roller shades. They have a resonator for the Cummins Owen generator, so that's going to quiet down the generator quite a bit, which is very nice. I think those also come standard now, I believe, on the Airstreams as well. Many of you have asked about this, the Mercedes-Benz safety package upgrade for the XL series, so the XLMB, XLTD, and the XLTS, they're finally going to have lane keep assist, blind spot detection, and collision detection on the safety package on those models. They don't have them this year. That's a big plus, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Matching interior laminate in the bathrooms, and new larger stainless steel galley sink. Maybe they were listening to George over at Humble Road. The new kitchen faucet with sprayer. We don't have a sprayer on the kitchen faucet, so that's going to be very nice. New handheld shower head in the bathroom. We got kind of the plastic ones now. I think they're upgraded to be more metallic looking. And then they have a new sewer hose and container. They're getting rid of a couple things. The pearl metallic exterior color has gone bye-bye. The current natural and copper maple cabinetry is also gone. They're replaced now with blonde maple and mocha maple. They have a little more modern look to them. The high gloss copper cabinetry is also gone. You're only going to be able to get this, I believe, in the white chocolate moving forward. The cream and pewter ultra leather is gone, replaced with almond and graphite. So just two new colors there. They look quite nice. And then the Milky Way cloud and hazel corian, I've got the hazel corian here, is gone, and they're replacing it with carbon concrete. Very modern. It looks like it would fit right in a New York City loft. And neutral concrete. So those are some of the changes for model year 2019, and I will share those with you later. I'll put a link somewhere so you can get to it. Okay, so John Samuda asks, what are your thoughts of Leisure Travel Vans product lineup? John, I love Leisure Travel Vans, as you guys know. They used to be in the Class B market. I think they got out in 2014 or 2015. And are focusing exclusively on Class C and B. Well, they call them B pluses, but they're Class Cs. I like them a lot. I particularly like their exterior design styles that they're doing, where they're trying to make them look more streamlined and less boxy. I love some of the innovation that they're doing on the interior designs as well. Very European looking, very high quality. Always Leisure Travels had high quality. I got to tell you though, Pleasure Way, because I toured that TS this week, and I have I've toured some other ones as well. Pleasure Way is rapidly catching up in terms of interior design and making it more modern with folks like Leisure Travel, I think. And I think some of the stuff that you see from the 2019 color choices for the interior decor are going to bring it even more, bring it up even a notch more in terms of making it look more modern. It's one of the things I wish Road Trek would do, because I like Road Trek, but I can't walk into any more of their vans and see that wood cabinetry anymore. It just looks so dated to me. They came out with a version of the Road Trek SS Agile that was high gloss and it had aluminum trim, but it's very rare to find, but it looked really nice. It looked really good. So anyways, that's my feeling about the that's what I'm feeling about Leisure Travel vans. Okay, let's see. Sorry here. Have you checked out the Facebook RV pricing and value group? I would definitely use them if I buy again. So Lake Girl has recommended to all of us that we check out a Facebook group called RV Pricing and Value Group. She said she'd definitely use them if she buys again. So thank you for that. By the way, my video coming out this Saturday is about RV pricing, so thank you for giving me a little lead into that. Let's see. Thank you, Paul. It says your videos have the right fit and finish. What do we have here? Any other questions from you guys? Happy to continue to field them and continue to take them. And I'll have to wrap up here in about maybe 9-10 minutes or so. But if this is something, by the way, that you all like, then I can do this regularly. I'm happy to schedule either twice a month or weekly, whatever you guys want. I'm happy to schedule something like this if you guys find it useful. I'm feeling a little more at ease, I guess, talking to you guys live. It really is different for me. I'm used to sitting in front of my editor, so. So Dreaming on Melrose Street asks, could you give us your top 3 Class B RVs? Oh, that's such a difficult question. Dreaming on Melrose Street. You know that I've done a video talking about what kind of buyer are you. So again, it depends on what kind of buyer you are. Because for instance, if you're a cost-focused buyer, then you're not going to be really looking at Pleasure Way. But if you're a luxury buyer, you're not going to be, for instance, looking at Winnebago. I'm a premium focused buyer, so I guess I can only answer the question from that standpoint. So obviously, Pleasure Way is at the top of my list, which is why I bought one. The Ascent is at the top of my list, which is why I'm in that right now. Why am I so high on the Ascent? I've owned the longer wheelbase Mercedes, the 170-inch wheelbase with the dualies in the back. I owned a 2014 Roadtrek CS Adventurous, and it was a great van, but what I found was it was too long to meet my daily needs. I wanted and do use this van daily. I take my daughter to school in it every day. I go grocery shopping on Saturday in it, and I use it as my mobile office every single day. It's parked out in front of my house. That extra 3 feet of length on the 170-inch wheelbase for me is just prohibitive. It's too big. I can't use it in the urban area where I live. I can't park it in Safeway's parking lot or grocery store. I can't easily park it on the street. So I needed something small. And then when I looked at small, there's the SS Agile, and then there's this, and now there's the Revel, and there were some other ones. Safari Condo had a small one as well. I looked at all of them. I even looked at ones you guys have never heard of in Quebec from little manufacturers up there. So small is important to me. I'd say the Ascent is right up there. The Lexor's right up there. I like the Lexor FL. It is 1.5 feet longer, but it's not so long that I still can't use it to park. So I like the Lexor FL. If I were traveling around a lot in it, I probably would want the extra space. I would want that extra 3 feet. And so in that sense, I think my favorite all-time van right now at the top of my list is the Plateau FL. Just the build quality, the design of it, it's well balanced. It's expensive, but it's well balanced in terms of living space, the front living space, the rear living space. It's a really, really nice van. I like the Active 1.0 and 2.0. I do like them. I think there's a good price on them. The jury's still out for me on quality. I'd like to see higher quality. I'm watching very closely to see if I'm seeing improvement in quality. I'm just trying to get my own data points there. You can, by the way, join the Heimer Active Owners and Wannabe group on Facebook, and you'll read a lot about owners of the Active and how they like it, or maybe some quality issues that they're having. So anyway, that's what I feel right now. Those are kind of some of my top picks right now. Well, thank you, Roger Z. I like making these videos as well. Let's see. Steve Prigine asks, can you store a barbecue and chairs? All right, I want to talk about this, Steve. I'm going to do a future episode on this, and that's about storage. On my Ascent, I have good cabinet storage, as you can see around here. So, and I'll just, go through. So this cabinet has food. This cabinet sits empty right now, but if I were traveling, this cabinet would have probably clothes and things in it. This cabinet over here, which is the deep one, that'll be taken up by all your bedding. You don't realize how much space you need for pillows and blankets and all that other stuff. And then the cabinet behind you is for clothing as well. Underneath the sofas, there's very little space because you've got your 2 lithium-ion batteries packs under there. And so there's just not a lot of space under there. I'm able to keep a collapsible table. I have a collapsible table. It collapses down to a thing about this long and this high. I store that back there. 2 chairs, comfy chairs, outside chairs, and Coleman grill, and that's about all I can fit in the back. My electrical 30 amp cable is underneath this ottoman, and then I also stuff my water hose for filling my water tanks back in the back, and then I don't have any more space left. So space is a consideration. You all need to be thinking about that. You get the bigger vans, the longer vans, you get more space in the back and more cabinet space up here. So it's a trade-off. You just have to decide what's important to you. Like, you've listened to Kate and Joe at We're the Russos. You know, they managed to live out of a van that's only 1.5 feet longer than this van, two of them. And Kate, God bless her, Kate even wants to try to move into a shorter van than that. She wants to move into an Active 1.0, which is the exact same wheelbase as this. So just think about, you know, what's important to you. You know, the size of the RV, is parking really important to you? Maybe it's not. Is living space more important to you? Storage space? Maybe you have a lot of stuff that you need to take, in which case you might want to look at a B plus from Leisure Travel or from Pleasureway, because they have external storage bays in them. So that's it's a issue I don't think that a lot of us think about before we buy. Maybe some of you do, but I didn't. Well, I'm glad, Melissa, that you were online and you caught me too. So people are saying they'd like to have a live stream. What do you think of the Trovato KL Pure 3? I talked about that a little bit earlier, Celine. I'm probably going to do a video review of it. You can watch the live stream from earlier to get your answer. Let's see. How much did the manufacturer support play into your purchasing decision? So, Anthony, what played into my purchasing decision was more about the warranty than about the manufacturer support. It was important to me to have manufacturer support, but the warranty, you got to think about that. You don't want to be, after a year, left with a van that you paid pretty good money for and you can't get it fixed. Coach builders should have more belief in their products than a 1-year warranty. That's just my opinion. So it wasn't the support wasn't so much to me as the warranty. Now, something to consider though, and I've just run into this here, is I did not buy my Pleasureway here in the States. I bought it up in Canada. And so what I've noticed is trying to get it into a dealer here for checkups and repairs, it's hard because the dealers are so booked up with customers who have bought from them that they'll service them first before they'll service someone like me who didn't buy from them. So that's something to think about, where you get your RV from, and make sure that your dealer is able to service it. I bought my first RV from a local place here, Manteca Trailer. I liked them, and they were local enough I could take my RV in, and I had no problems there. I could call them up and get an appointment the week or the next week. No problem, take it in and get whatever done I needed to get done. Tried to take this in the other day for some minor stuff, and I had to book the appointment 3 months in advance. So 3 months in advance, and then when I get there, they looked at it and said, oh, half of these things we can't do today, so we'll do half of them, and then we'll have to book you for another 3 months. So crazy stuff you need to think about. Okay, when will the Pleasureway 2019 features you mentioned be available? I believe, I'm not sure, I believe they might be available on order now. I'm not sure. I'll check on that. I don't know, Bob, when they are available. I don't know when Pleasureway is releasing their 2019 model years. I thought I had read in the Pleasureway Facebook group that people are placing orders for their 2019s, but I'll have to verify that. So Daniel asks, do you have any of the larger models of Heimer in the U.S.? No, Daniel, we don't. So Erwin Heimer purchased Road Trek, I think in 2015 or something like that, to get into the U.S. market. The first models that they introduced were the Heimer Active, and then they introduced Heimer Sun, but that quickly there were some quality issues, and they don't have that anymore. And now they have the Corrado brand, which I believe you also have in Europe, the Corrado brand. But we don't have any of the larger Heimer models here yet. Maybe they're planning. We do have the trailers. We have the Heimer trailers here, but none of the larger ones yet. Dreaming on Melrose asks, would you ever buy an extended warranty? I did. buy an extended warranty on my first road trek. So my road trek already had a it's a long warranty at that time. It was may have been the 6-year warranty. I bought the extended warranty, so it extended it another 5 years or something like that. And I did buy it, absolutely. It was helpful when I sold my road trek, because when I sold it, that was a big selling factor, is the extended warranty, peace of mind for the new buyers. I did not buy an extended warranty on the Ascent. Didn't feel I needed it. I could tell when I did my examination of it that it was very high quality, and I just didn't feel I needed it. They had the 5-year warranty, and I think I've been proven out there. So I don't. If you got a lot of components like volt start and stuff like that, it might be a good idea to think about the extended warranty. Yeah, these things are really complicated. They're getting more complicated every year. You know, the electrical systems with multiplex wiring and inverters and converters and solar and battery banks and plumbing systems and instant hot water and diesel fired. They can get complicated. So it's not a bad idea, especially if you're thinking about using it like I do, which is a daily driver, and you're using it all the time. How to drop off after this, so I'm sorry. Let's see. Anthony Brown says, in your reviews, the camera lens wide angle makes the spaces seem larger. What is your height, weight, stature? Sorry to get personal. No problem, Anthony. I feel like it's a personal ad. Yeah, I've tried to correct that, by the way, in recent videos. So in the next video coming out, this last one, the next one coming out, I tried to do some distortion correction. I think it made it better, but let me know. Yeah, I do. I video everything in 360 degrees because that way I can release 360 and then I can run it through post-editing and do the flat version. And there can be lens distortion, and I apologize for that. I'm trying to address it. My height is I'm 5'10". I weigh 150. I'm not a huge guy, as you can see here, and I like sushi. So that's my personal details for you. Have you heard how the underhood generators are holding up, and if they are negatively affecting the engines, especially diesels? As I've heard, you aren't supposed to idle them too long. That's from Stephen Stringer. Stephen, yeah, I talk about this in the diesel versus gas video that I've done. So the underhood generators, for those of you who don't know, it's basically just a beefy second alternator that they stick into the engine. So you have your standard chassis alternator, which keeps all the DC components inside of your chassis operating, and then you have this secondary beefier alternator, which then feeds into your electrical system for the coach. On gas engines, they're fine. Shouldn't be a problem. The problem potentially comes in with diesel engines, and in particular, the Mercedes Sprinter diesel engine. And specifically, when those engines are idled for a long period of time, there is some concern. There's a great deal of debate. You can go onto the Class B forum and go to 15 pages worth of debate around this. How, if any, how damaging is it to the diesel engine, and specifically the diesel particle filter, to have the diesel engine idling for long periods of time? There just hasn't been enough data out there yet, I think, for us to know, because the diesel particle filter, the DPF, can go 100,000 miles or so before it needs to be checked. And so that's an awful long time of running the underhood generator. So we just haven't gotten there yet. Mercedes, says that they don't like you idling the engines for a long period of time, but let's face it, I mean, most of these Mercedes vans are purchased by service companies, and they're driving around town all the time, and a lot of them just leave the van running when they go in and they drop something off or make an errand or whatever. So these things do get idled quite a bit. Now, Jim Hamill, who's the CEO over at Erwin Heimer, has stepped into this debate, and he has publicly said on behalf of Erwin Heimer and Road Trek, he's like, listen, folks, he's like, this is not a problem. We would never have put the underhood generator, the second alternator, in the engine and offered a 6-year warranty, which also covers that and anything else that might happen because of it. We never would have done that if we didn't believe in it and didn't think that it's okay to put on our Mercedes Sprinter chassis. So there you have it. I mean, you have the CEO of the company who is doing this and putting it on their chassis, telling you, stop worrying about it, I got your back, we've got it covered. But on the other hand, you've got Mercedes saying, don't do it, we don't recommend that you idle your engines, for long periods of time and things like that. So where's the truth? I don't know. I haven't read anything yet online about people having problems with their diesel engines, with the diesel particle filter specifically as a result of the underhood generator and volt start. I haven't heard that yet. So, but that's just that's my knowledge, the extent of my knowledge. So Anthony C. Brown says, based on your YouTube channel, it appears this will not be your forever RV. How do you rationalize depreciation and the cost as it relates to your budget? Based on my YouTube channel, it appears this will not be your forever RV. I don't know if this will be my forever RV. I love my Ascent. I really, really love my Ascent. How do I rationalize the depreciation and cost as it relates to my... Well, I'm in a special case, Anthony, because this is my business, and this van is a business expense, the entirety of it. So it's a huge write-off for me, as is depreciation. And if I wanted to finance it, all of that interest on it, it's all write-off for me. So, yeah, so this is just a capital expense for me and my YouTube channel. Obviously, your mileage may vary. Yeah, so that's all. I guess that's all I can say about that. Good question, though. All right. Well, let's see. I'm gonna have to drop off. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed having this time with you guys. I think this was really cool and really special. So, if you guys like, we can do this more often. I'm happy to do it weekly if you guys like, or whatever. I'll do whatever you guys want. This is your channel, so leave comments in the chat about if you like this, if you want to see it more often, what are the topics you want me to cover, and I'm happy to do it. This is your channel. So with that, I will say thank you very much. Look forward to my video on Saturday, which is where I'm talking about buying advice, and a very good video on Monday. I think I like it. It's the for those of you who are on, it's the Winnebago 70A review coming out on Monday. So, all right, we'll see you all again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.